Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV. I'm your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host Josh Summersgill.
Before we throw it over to our guest, the famous S.P.E, we are going to thank our sponsor today. Our sponsor is xendurance.eu. I highly recommend checking out their Fuel 5 products. Basically, the Fuel 5 is a carbohydrate drink. It's got 4 sources of carbohydrate in, and the whole goal of that product is to keep you training for longer and be able to perform better in your longer extended sessions. For 20% off, it is AgogeTV 20 at the checkout on xendurance.eu. So check them out, and again, it's 20% off anything in your cart with that code. So S.P.E, let's throw it. Let's pass it over. S.P.E is our. I always like to talk about a product that's relevant to the person. So hence talking about the endurance product with our endurance specialist at the gym. We had a cool conversation the other day, didn't we, S.P.E, about how good you are at endurance events and how.
Yeah, I seem to be able to turn anything into an endurance event.
Sian makes thrusters cyclical. It's cool. So basically, S.P.E, we keep not to confuse people who maybe don't know who you are. Your name is Champion, Percival Edwards. Yeah. So we shorten that at the gym to S.P.E. S.P.E is one of our coaches, and just introduce yourself, S.P.E. What you're about, and how did you start CrossFit?
Oh, I started CrossFit in 2013, so pretty long time ago now when you think about it. I first heard about CrossFit whilst I was still teaching at University of Gloucestershire. I was teaching on the foundation degree, level 1 and 2 Central YMCA qualification, personal instructor, so fitness instructor and personal training. So I kind of heard about the methodology of CrossFit. It was the time when all the strength and conditioning modules were coming into effect as well. So something that I was kind of familiar with. So I kept a bit of an eye on it. And I was training fairly regularly, but it wasn't until I moved up north that I started looking at that as a method of training, really. So I did a bit of research online as to where the nearest box was, and it happened to be CrossFit Warrington, or Black Lab Fitness, as we all know it, and that's where I first ever met you guys. Yeah. And started going along, and like most of the other people on this podcast, I started off on the 3 days a week membership. I was still running at the time, so I was, in my mind, I was a runner that did CrossFit to help my running. And then suddenly I became a CrossFitter. I remember having a conversation with Ange and saying, you know, if I do end up doing this 5 times a week membership, I will go every day. And she was like, I know. And that was it. So yeah, and that's how I kind of got into CrossFit.
And now she's like, that 5 times a week has become 15 to 20 times a week.
3 times a week to 3 times a day. That's pretty much how it's gone.
Literally.
But so you've done some super cool things before you got involved coaching with us. Before again, first of all, you were on Ninja Warrior. You ran the Ninja Warrior course. That was actually when you come to my attention. I was like, Ange isn't just the skinny girl in the gym. Ange's actually
who's Ange?
And Sian, sorry. Ange, it's because we've just said.
And who's skinny?
She's not skinny anymore.
Fuck you, Phil.
She's not skinny anymore. She was then. God, I'm upsetting people today. So.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I've watched on TV, and in fact, years before that, I watched Gladiators, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to be Jet. I want to do that. And eventually, it came up to Ninja Warrior, and I was like, do you know what? I really want to have a go at that. So, oh god, the audition process is brilliant. It's epic, and it's held at CrossFit 3D in Manchester. Right, and there's all different tests that you have to do. You have to like literally run up a wall and tap how far you can go, and they tell you how far. And then there's all these balance things, and then there's like maximal things that you can do. And then right at the end of the audition, they say, right, if you get to the top of the wall, what's your celebration? And I was just like, yay, I don't know. I have no idea. But I managed to get through and got through to the auditions, and then went through to the live shows. The live shows were just, I mean, in front of thousands and thousands of people. And it's one hit. You don't have multiple goes. They show you how to do it. And then you wait around all day watching everybody else doing it, and they just call you up and off you go. And I had all my family in the crowd and everything. It was brilliant. And yeah, there was that moment where I was like, just one more swing. And then I'd lost my momentum. And I literally held on for dear life. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I remember Rochelle Hughes being like, this girl's got grip. And then splashed. But following on from that, which is even more cool, really, because I never actually wanted to be on the telly. I just wanted to do the course. Yeah. They invited me back to be course tester then. Cool. So the year after, sick. I went down and was course tester, and I've done that for the last 3 years now. So they call you up in about August time, and then you just run through them. They get their camera angles, and they get all of the different angles for what they want to see and how they want to see it and how difficult it needs to be. And I think there's like 3 or 4 of us, and if all 3 of us get through, they're like, right, we need to take one of those hooks out, make it more difficult and stuff. But I got to run the semi-final course as part of the testing, and yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to do anyway. So it's brilliant, and it's a lovely little family. The Ninja Warrior family, everybody's really, really supportive, a little bit like kind of the CrossFit family is as well. And I met some fantastic people training for that.
Yeah, so cool. And I didn't know you got called back to do it again. I knew that you were doing a little bit of it, but I didn't know you'd gone back to do it.
Phil's again. Panicking because he's like, more volume.
I was like, Jesus, not more
Dan's doing more training, and I don't know.
I wonder how much I don't know about. We'll come on to that later. I feel like Sian posts on social media what she's done. I look at it and go, hang on, I don't remember any of that.
Forgiveness is easier than permission, S.P.E. Don't worry.
There's my programming there in A through F, and then we've got...
If I tick those boxes, I can do the fun stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. And then obviously you moved on to training for an Ironman.
Yeah, because why not? Do you know what I mean? Like, Queen of Endurance, what's the biggest endurance event? An Ironman. So at the time, my stepdad, who's now my ex-stepdad, if that's a thing, but yeah, he had done an Ironman. And I kind of didn't really know anything about it until he'd done it. And I went to support him and really only got to see him during the run. But what really humbled me during that run was watching the amount of people of all different shapes and sizes and walks of life. And you know that they have trained for them as hard as they can to be prepared for that event. And I remember seeing like really, really athletic people, and then people I'm like, dude, wow. And, you know, old and young. And I was just like, do you know what? If they can do it, and if they can commit to it, I'm going to kind of do that. And so I'm the type of person that until I've really committed it, I won't say it out loud. Yeah. So it took me a couple of years, and I was like, right, I'll have a little go. So I had a go at some go tries, which is something that the Warrington Borough Council did around Orford Park and stuff. Loved it. I was like, right, okay, I need to do this. So then I did an Olympic distance, which is a quarter of an Ironman distance. I did that down in London, swam in the Thames. Disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting. Don't swallow any Thames water, it's vile. But again, absolutely loved it. And I thought, right, the obvious step is to do a half Ironman. But this little devil on my shoulder is saying, but you'll know then how half of it's going to feel, and you won't like how half of it's going to feel. Because you know you'll have another half to do. So I said to Angela, like, before I'm 40, I'm going to do an Ironman. And she was like, cool, you need a bike. And then started training and was doing a little bit by myself. And then I got a coach, bit of a game changer, somebody specific. And really, that's the only time that I've had a break from CrossFit is when I did the Ironman training, because I couldn't, I mean, I tried. I couldn't fit in 7 hours cycling and a CrossFit class as well as everything else. So I took a little bit of time out from CrossFit to do that, and trained and finished it, completed it in 12 and a half hours. And it was the year where it was the hottest summer of our lives. And even right up until, I think, the night before Ironman, I didn't even know whether we'd actually do it. Because of the temperature, and we swim at Pennington Flash, it had created this blue-green algae. and apparently it's really dangerous and poisonous. If you swallow any, it makes you really, really sick. So you can imagine swimming for 2.4 miles, you're probably going to inhale a little bit of it. And so they were like, not sure whether it's going to be an Ironman with this swim or not. I was like, well, that's not an Ironman. That's just like running and cycling. Got that. And then there was the bushfires. So at the top of, what's it called? The cycle hill. Yeah, they were all on fire. So they were like, well, we might not be able to do the cycle. I'm like, I've not paid all this money. It's like £900 to swim and run. No. I'm not doing that. And they said, right, we're going to change the route, but it's going to be slightly different. I think there's like, they'd knocked 20 miles off it. And at the end, I was just like, I'm fine with that. You know, 20 miles is 20 miles. Fine, not a problem. So it went ahead. But then I was faced with the fact that I was running a marathon in 30-degree heat. And it was just like, oh my God. And I had obviously swallowed some of the water, so stomach was off, my fueling had gone, and I survived the marathon on crisps, literally Doritos and water for 6 hours.
So, I don't like, obviously when we come, so me and Tim went to come to cheer you on during the marathon, didn't we? And it was basically like it was quite surreal because we finished at Rainhill, so there'd been a Rainhill competition, so I'd been cheering people on there all day, and then I think Helen Mack said, "Oh, like Sian's at the Ironman." I was like, "Right, sick, come on!" And it was so obviously Manchester to Bolton's not a big deal, is it? We jumps in the car, he comes over, and we're like, we're trying to find you on this little map thing to find somewhere to park that we'll be able to see you, and then like. Eventually Sian sort of like comes running up this hill towards us, and we're like, oh, go on, Sian, thinking she'd just like jog on past us, and she just stops and she's like, so how are you? I'm like, keep running. Like, what are you doing? Like, me and Tim were like, oh my God, what's going on here? And it was like,
I had so much support. It was brilliant. But I'd kind of put people where I wanted them, and there was this horrible hill. I named it Calf Break Hill because it broke my calves, because it was 4 loops. So you knew that you're going to have to do it 4 times. And so I got my family on it, and my mission was I'd get to the bottom of it and I would walk all the way up and I would chat to every single person, because every single person that was there supporting me were there at 5 a.m. and they were there till the end. And I thought, do you know what? If I can't stop and like speak to you, there's something not quite right. I mean, unless I'm going to win it, which I'm not, I'm not going to do that. So I stopped and enjoyed a bit of a conversation with them, chatted to them, had loads of hugs and stuff. That got me to the top of Calf Break Hill, and then off we went again. But yeah, I mean, CrossFit really helped me, because it was like, right, this is 4 laps for time rather than this is 4 of the same route. But oh God, that hill. Oh.
And just sort of touched on what you said then about how CrossFit helped you with that. Did you find that since doing the Ironman, has that gone sort of like both ways? So in terms of, let's say you're doing a 20-minute AMRAP now, in your mind, that's not a 12-hour endurance race, is it? No. Do you know what I mean? So like, has that bar been lifted now?
If you stop and talk to people during your 20-minute AMRAP, I'm not going to be happy.
Just so you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're suffering, you kind of think, well, if you've managed to do things for 12 and a half hours, suck it up. Just suck it up. And I mean, you know, the famous marathon row that I got everybody involved with as well, it's the same. It's like, do you know, just suck it up, because all you're doing is the same movement. You control your breathing, you control your mind. And for me, the Ironman was this. I knew I could do it as long as this didn't mess with me.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And so obviously the Ironman was cool, and the last thing that obviously I remember was one thing that was awesome was when we went over to the finish line to see you finish, and it wasn't even just yourself finishing that was awesome, like the whole thing. It was one thing that I was like, it really reminded me of finishing a Metcon, but on like just such a grand scale. Do you know what I mean? Like there was so many people that were just like stood around cheering people on, and it was huge. Every time somebody crossed the finish line, there was a massive cheer went up, and you're like, wow, these like, you know what I mean? Like it was really cool. So
the crowd was brilliant, and I think because the crowd were either people that were involved with the sport, or they were friends and family of people that had trained and knew sacrifices that they'd given for the last 12 months of training. It was a celebration because I wouldn't have been able to do the Ironman without the support of Ange and my family and my work. I mean, my boss was amazing. She even gave me like time off to go and train and to work it around my hours and stuff, because I did it for them. I did it for the charity. I work for a heart charity based up in Preston, so I raised some money for them. And yeah, she was really supportive. And, you know, it is a celebration of a team. It's not just that person that's crossing the red carpet. I mean, that's all great and everything, but it was like, yeah, Team S.P.E, we've done it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then obviously that was when you really quickly come back to CrossFit, like the day later or
I think
something.
I came back on a Monday.
Yeah, I was like, if you did an Ironman the other day, you probably shouldn't be here. And so I'll tell the story from how I remember it and what kind of happened. You basically, you come back, and then within like a week, you were entering Battle for Middle Ground with Matt Pilling. And I was kind of like, oh no, Sian's gonna die. She's done no lifting or like any serious exercise for like, not serious exercise, because obviously an Ironman serious exercise. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, like any CrossFit style exercise, that was like, and then obviously you and Pilling went ahead and smashed it. And you actually both did really, really well at Battle for Middle Ground. A couple of high event place finishes. My personal favourite being the air bike one, where you nearly died.
Still die on that.
Yeah. And then obviously you come on coaching with me at that point. It was like the day after or something. And then obviously we committed to coming top 200 in the Open for your age category. So that's the new challenge. And in the meantime, you became a coach for LST as well. Yeah. So never short of things to do.
No.
What was your so first of all, let's talk about your goal as like, because you don't commit to anything by half. Obviously we went from I'm going to run an Ironman to I'm going to be top 200 in the world in my age category. Was that just the thought process, right? Okay, I'm going to do this, or was there a bit of like, was there a conversation with Ange? Because obviously she's super supportive. How did you get to that goal?
I'm a bit of a numbers kind of girl. So, you know, everything that I do, I kind of log, and then I know whether I'm progressing and stuff. And with being able to do the Open, obviously there's the platform for putting in your scores and just seeing every year how much I was progressing. And I knew I was going into the next age category up, 40. So I knew that there was just a little bit more of a playing field there. And I thought, if now's the time, then now's the time, let's go for it. I'm fitter and healthier than I've ever been. You know, I've got really, really positive life. I've got a good job, really supportive family, and obviously Ange as well. And I was like, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? And, you know, whilst I'm injury free, which for me is rare because I am Crash Bandicoot, let's go for it. So yeah, off we went. And I kind of had that conversation with you, Phil, and I was like, okay, I want to be better than I am right now. Yeah. Let's go, team.
Yeah. And we did, and we did do the, so I say we did the maths. I did the maths. I went through it and was like, is this achievable in 18 months to 2 years that we had? It wasn't like it wasn't like I just turned around to you and was like, yeah, you can make the top 200, and we was like, do you know what I mean?
Get it, bro.
Yeah, come on then, let's do it. Like we didn't run in blind. We worked out that you wouldn't have been far out had you been in the age at 39. Sian been in the age category above, she'd have been in the top. I think it was 300 to 500. It was up there. It was like, okay, yeah, that's a doable goal to increase for 300 places. Like we can do that in 12 months. And then obviously the CrossFit season turned upside down, and we didn't have 2 months. We had 3 months, 12 months. Sorry, we had 3 months. But from that, you still put in a solid performance in the Open this year, in your first time in the 40 to 45 category. And we worked out that you were one handstand walk and about 6 seconds away from being in the top 200 overall.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind as well that probably people listening, but that was also like 500 places. That's how close the Open is in that sort of age group, in that sort of bubble level, just below.
It's close anyway.
Yeah, like it's insane. 6 seconds can be thousands of places. So Sian was really close to a goal this year, but nevertheless, that put you just outside the top 10 of strength in depth. And then what happened?
Yeah, so so alongside the Open, I entered into strength in depth because why not? I seemed to went through a phase of just being like, yeah, I'll enter that competition, that one and that one. I mean, all my CrossFit competition partners have left me. Like, started off with Paul Cunningham, and then the handstand standard broke him and he left. Yeah. Matt Pillin got a job in Manchester and he left. Nana Kay's now pregnant.
I'll do a comp with you, S.P.E.
I feel common theme there is you, Sian. That's the...
So I entered into strength in depth and I was like, why not? I think I had a conversation with Johnny actually, and Johnny was like, I'm doing it. I was like, oh, I'll do it as well. And watching the kind of leaderboard, and I was solid at the bottom in 11th place, and the top 10 went to strength in depth in London. I was like, and I think there was 3 points in it, and then the one below me in 12th place, there was like 9 points below me. So I was like, oh, typically a couple of points out. I was like, do you know what? Never mind, nothing kind of gone. I think I went on holiday, and then whilst I was on holiday, I got an email saying somebody's pulled out, and because you're next in line, we'd like to invite you to compete at strength in depth. And I was just like,
and how long before the competition was this?
2 weeks.
Just
2 weeks.
Just want to point out as well, Sian is very stressful as a coach because these things don't happen with everybody else. But
and I was just like, oh my God, as if.
It was awesome. And we went, right, okay. That one of my favourite things about that whole experience was just, we went, right, and we pulled everyone together and was like, right, let's do what we can in the next 2 weeks to get Sian ready.
It was proper team speak. Like everybody, like you both had a massive input, and Josh, you helped me out no end with weightlifting, and Phil obviously support there throughout and on the day. But everybody, the whole gym was just like, we've got your back, S.P.E. And I was like, oh, okay then.
Yeah. I was flicking through your Instagram before to get like the artwork picture for this, and I come across the strength in depth post. And you know when you were doing the snatch, your hang snatch bit.
Yeah.
And obviously we was all watching in the gym, and I was like, I got goosebumps again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you tell the story, but I was like, oh, it's happening again.
It's mental. It was mental. But it took me a long time to accept that place. Although saying that, I got the email on the Friday and they said, you have to let us know by Monday. And I was like, okay, so I've got a weekend to sleep on it. And, you know, I'm the type of girl where it takes me 3 days to buy a pair of shoes, you know, and by the time I've gone to buy them, they're out of stock. So it's, you know, I had to really weigh up the pros and cons. And I was like, am I good enough? And I was like, well, I don't really know how to answer that. And then it was like, am I ready? And I was like, I don't really know. And it was like, I think it was a couple of the girls at the gym, Andrew and Phil, and I was like, you know, and Phil texted me and he was like, what's the worst that can happen? And that just went bing. And I was like, what is the worst that can happen? I come last. I'm last now. You know, I'm 10th, but I'm last. So what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. And then, of course, I was like, right, logistics. So I just basically said to Angela, I need your help. And she's like, I'll do all the logistics. You just go train. So brilliant. Thank you. Absolute wonderful woman. And then it was a waiting game for them to release the WODs. And it was just like, don't come up.
Yeah.
Don't come up.
We didn't. It was one thing that you didn't want to see, was the show.
There was handstand walks. I just haven't got them yet, and I pretty much work on them every other day, and they will get there. You know, it is a goal of mine. But at the age of 40, I have never walked on my hands. My feet have done me very well. So these bad boys, not really a fan. But anyway, did come up obviously. But it was an absolutely amazing weekend. I was knackered. I mean, they were some tough events. 2-3 events on a day, with about 5 or 6 hours between. No time for a nana nap. You just
Didn't you have to do like dumbbell Fran as well at one point?
Yeah, so day one, there was 2 events. In the morning, it was a 3K run along the docks. And then there was about a 5-hour wait, and then it was, dumbbell Fran. Which was brilliant, because at day one, I was sitting in 3rd position. I was like, yay me.
Yeah.
Endurance event, golden. Quick
Thrusters.
event, golden. And then day 2 happened.
Yeah. But
Day 2.
My favourite thing about day 1 was, other than Ange running off with Tia Claire Toomey, which was my actual favourite moment of the whole thing.
That was brilliant.
Whereas I was like, right, Sian, I'm going to stand here on the run. When you run down towards me, I'm going to be like, thumbs up whether you're on pace or not, and like, we'll see what happens, yeah? And I was like, right, I want you to, like, we know what Sian's running metrics are, so I was kind of like, right, I think we wanted you to run about a 4-minute kilometre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I knew that there and back was 2 kilometres. So I was like, if I see Sian coming back in about 8 minutes, perfect. Then she's going to have plenty left in the tank for a kick, and we're going to be right up there. And I was like, sound. And then Sian comes running back to me. I look at my clock and I'm like, 6 and something minutes. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, but I couldn't like tell Sian either. I was like, what do I do?
Just was like, go,
Yeah,
go.
Get it, man.
I'd be like, no, you fucked it. No, like, I was just like, thumbs up, get it, mate. I was like, oh my God.
And the way that they set us off is, I wasn't running with all of the masters 40 to 45s. I was running with some of the 30 to 35s on male and female. So when I set off, I didn't know how good, it's not good, what my pacing would be compared to my age group. So I was like, right, chase the lads.
Yeah.
Chase the lads. Forget about the girls, because none of them in your age group. And I know that they're younger than you, so chase the lads. So that's what I did. I ran after the boys.
Yeah, and it did serve you well. You was in the top few after that one, wasn't you? And that was a good event. And then obviously dumbbell Fran was always going to be a good event for you. And then next day was the next day. So I think, yeah, like Jan put his hands over her eyes. The first thing was like, probably like she PB'd a snatch to start with. So like it wasn't like we were like, oh no, like you got a 7th place, I think it was, on the snatch, didn't you? Out of 10.
You PB twice.
Yeah, but
well, yeah. See, it was 1 rep max hang snatch, and for those of you that know snatch and Sian, there's either good days and there's really bad days. There's no okay days. So
don't talk badly about my missus.
So yeah, off I went, and I had the conversation with Philly, who was like, right, I want you on the first lift to hit something that you know you're going to hit. But meanwhile, in the warm-up, I'd already hit that, and I was like, that is feeling good.
I forgot about this.
Behind me, and the first lift is going to be a PB. I'm just going to go for it. And then I remember Josh's little voice going, break the bar. And I'm like, right, crowd behind me, failed. I was like,
I stood there.
And then
going,
I'm like, I can't take the weights off. So let's go again. Fail. 3rd attempt, hit it. And I was like, right, brilliant. I was like, right, now we're going for another PB. So yeah, I got a 5 kilogram PB on my snatch. I've never done it since, because I'm basking in that glory.
Honestly, guys, watching that from the TV in the gym with everyone behind us, it was like watching the World Cup. Yeah. Where when you hit that, it was just like, the noise was insane.
It was
brilliant, because it's during weightlifting class, wasn't it? That it was going on.
Yeah, we all stopped and come watch you. It was great.
Brilliant.
It was awesome, and I obviously got the video and was like, "Oh my God, have you seen this?" Do you know what I mean? And like I say, obviously from a coaching perspective, like I say, I was stood there going, "Oh my fucking God, what's happening now?" Like, why has she got more than a PB on the bar? It's the first.
Why has she got?
Like, get it, Sian.
Conversation adrenaline.
I'm whispering to Ange, going, "I'm gonna fucking kill her." Like,
Yeah, I think at the end of that weekend, she was like, Phil's not very happy with you.
No, I was happy. Yeah, you don't
no, it
listen.
was good. It was
Don't
good.
listen so
Good
good.
event. It was good.
And then obviously, we did the debrief afterwards, and like the next couple of events didn't pan out the way we would have liked them to. A couple of harsh no reps and things like that, but they happened. That's the sport. And there was the one event as well, and again I figured it out. I went through and did my leaderboarding and worked it out, and obviously you were like 6 seconds or something like 7, 6 to 10. I think it was 6 to 10 seconds off being in the top 4 in an event, and instead finished 8th. Which again, like it's such fine margins, but they're margins that we know Sian can make up. And obviously we worked that out afterwards, and we worked out how much that had made a difference to Sian's placing. And going into day 2, she'd have been in the top 5 instead of in do you know what I mean? And just the whole mindset behind it all changes. And obviously, bear in mind, we are yet to have actually prepped Sian for a competition properly. So
2 weeks out.
Yeah, we go, oh right, okay, the Open's now, and then let's go, and then we go, oh, you just come back from holiday and we're going to strength in depth, right? Okay, let's figure this out. So I look forward as Sian's coach seeing what we can do when we actually do get a comp that we've prepped for and we're ready for, and done the things that done some peaking cycles and all the rest of it that are going to be good things to come for sure. Okay, I'm just conscious of the time and stuff, but want to ask you about coaching. So you obviously got involved with coaching with us, and you were a natural, to be fair. Like it seems to come fairly easy to you, which made our lives really easy. What do you love about coaching? Basically, what makes you keep showing up and like?
I mean, I guess that it was inevitable that I was going to become a coach. I mean, if you think about kind of my career, everything that I've done, I've ended up in some form of teaching or coaching capacity. If I completed a course, like for example, I did a sports massage course. At the end of the course, they were like, right, we want you to be a tutor. And I did my personal training course, and at the end of that, they were like, we want you to be a tutor. And I was like, it just seemed to happen. I just seemed to always be that bossy, naggy type person that kind of fits in with a coaching model. So it's kind of inevitable. And I had quite a lot of people throughout, saying, well, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And it just wasn't really the right time. And I had changed my hours at work for the Ironman. So instead of working 5 days, I'd moved all of my working time into 4 days. So I had a day off to do my big training set. And obviously Ironman had finished. And I was like, what do I do? Do I keep that day and have 3 days off, work 4 days? And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do with that? And then literally the week after, Phil was like, do you want to be an intern? I was like, never say no. Yes, I do. And that was it then. Intern, I remember the first intern, Phil was like, do you want to do the warm-up? I was like, yeah. So I did the warm-up, and then I just carried on.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm going to go and get coffee.
Yeah, I was like, I've been coaching like 4 hours today already. This is you go, mate. I was like, okay, bro, you're smashing it. And yeah, that's it.
And yeah, that's what I did. And then just carried on. Obviously went and did my level 1. Absolutely loved level 1. Stedman took it, and Dabs, absolute legends. Learned so much that weekend. It was brilliant.
We've got Dabs coming up soon, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got Dabs coming up soon.
We've got Dabs coming up because he wants to get back at Danny and McCoy.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. And then obviously started taking the classes. I really enjoy coaching. I get so much more satisfaction from seeing somebody else do things. And during lockdown, Ange, who never done PE, ever, I've managed to get her doing some exercise now, doing a Zoom class with her sister.
One of us.
Never, ever coach your other half. I'm totally with you both there. Never coach. The things she gets away with, I'm like, you'd never get away with that in the gym. Sat on the floor, I'm not doing it. Okay, darling. But no, It's been really good, but I get much more benefit out of watching her train than even if I did a 1 rep max or PB'd anything the same day. It's the fact that, you know, she's put herself out of her comfort zone and, you know, hated every minute, but has done it. And it's the same in the gym. You know, you say to somebody, you can do it, and they do, and they're like, oh, thanks for making me do that. And I'm like,
I mean, to be fair as well,
power.
you even tried to coach myself and Phil and Mems to swim, which is no small time. Mems, yes, because he's like a fish.
Mems is okay. Josh.
Phil sinks even when he holds his breath, which just defies the laws of physics.
It's the first thing I show anybody that tries to teach me how to swim. I go, watch this, sink. I'm like, I'm not even joking. Like, I don't do this on purpose.
How can somebody with a full pair of lungs of air sink?
Literally,
How are you
like
that
a
dense?
stone.
I don't know.
I almost was like, no, he can't be, surely.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm winding
off he
him
went,
up.
and I was like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah, I'm like, everyone
Go,
thinks,
bro.
I'm like,
Get it, man.
Windmilling. That's. But yeah, so Sian is, and Sian will be hopefully when swimming pools reopen and we all get back to teaching us how to swim, because it's on my to-do list for sure.
Definitely.
Because I don't want to feel that panic again of finding out I'm in a competition and going, I've got a what? I got to swim. Like,
and not sink.
I signed up for this competition because it's never had swimming in it. Like,
can I have some armbands, please?
But yeah, no, it's cool. So S.P.E, last thing I want to ask you about, and obviously I know you're probably with the charity in the similar position as the gym, where it's a bit uncertain at the moment, but obviously I just want to ask about your work with the charity and what they do.
Yeah.
So
I work for a cardiovascular prevention and rehabilitation charity called Heartbeat, based up at Preston North End, underneath the football stadium. And it's a charity that's been around for about 40 years. A couple lost their daughter to coronary heart disease, and they wanted to set up a charity in her name, and they did that. We now look after just over 1,000 people. So 1,000 people in Lancaster that have either at risk of heart disease or have had some form of event. And when I say we look after them, we provide cardiac rehab classes, essentially 2 a week, as well as education and mental health support for them and their family. That's the kind of crux of the business. My role is prevention. So all of my work is to do with training and education, talking to school children as part of their PSHE curriculum, how to look after their heart, what's under their skin, how does it all work. I then go out to community groups, work quite a lot with BME groups about, diabetes and the link to cardiovascular disease and cholesterol and, what that kind of looks like and how to cook in a different way. But I also do all of the first aid training. So your bog standard emergency first aid at work. But I also, about 80% of my role is training GPs and dentists in their annual first aid. So literally every day is different. In the morning, I could be teaching to reception class about, show me where your heart is, show me where your brain is. And in the afternoon, over at Leeds at NHS Digital, going through some clinical first aid training. Being able to swap hats around.
Actually goes from teaching thrusters on a Monday to nursery kids on a Tuesday and doctors on a Wednesday. That's the
it's a like
big jump. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
So at the moment, the charity is surviving on 3 members of staff: our CEO, our fundraiser, and our finance advisor. Everybody else has been furloughed.
Okay, and if I don't, so obviously, if people want to support the charity in this time, which is what I wanted to get at, how do we do it?
So simply just go over to our website, www.heartbeat-nwcc.org.uk, and there's a little donate button. But also, if you shop online, so like Amazon and things like that, have got that link where you can a percentage of your purchase gets sent to a charity. If you can just go through that link and just search Heartbeat NWCC, which stands for Northwest Cardiac Care, a little bit of your money will go to help 1,000 people. I mean, where else can you say that? And that's kind of our unique selling point, is that every penny that we raise, we use to help people. And we've got people that have been there 2 months and people that have been there 40 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool, awesome, and again, we benefit from you being trained in first aid, and you've trained us on first aid as well, and obviously, so we benefited from it in some way, shape, or form. So, the gym as a whole, for those that are listening to it, you've all benefited from this charity and Sian's work. So go donate, basically. go spend your money on something that's worth spending it on. The nanos can wait, because we're not CrossFit anymore, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that, but never mind. Josh is like, fuck's sake, not again.
Serious face.
I'm used to it. I'm going to get a message one day. Phil's dead. Sorry.
It'll be off Emma. It'll be off Emma. You call me fat again.
Phil's single and dead.
True story. So, Sian, let's ask you the final questions. Obviously, the first one that I love to always ask everyone is, what's your book or film recommendation?
Oh, so throughout my career and, all the education that I've been through, I've read books to learn. So now I don't want to learn anything from a book. I just want to lose myself. So generally anything that's got a murder in it, right. Generally anything that's got a bit of forensics in it, because I wish I'd have done that. So my 2 books, Claire McIntosh, are the 2, or John Mars, those types of books are my go-to. Although at the moment I'm reading The Body, but it just it's good, but it's just a bit. Yeah,
I get that. I was reading, you can see my stack of Lee Child's books behind me, and there was one of them where I got so far and I was just like, I know who the bad guy is. I know why they did what they did. And I don't know what's going on anymore here. I'm like, we're just going round in circles. It gets a bit frustrating. But most you might like those kind of books as well. The Jack Reacher books with the there's always a bit of a mystery to it, and Jack's a badass. So that's, if you like those, give them a go. So I think you just mentioned it. Then my next question was actually, if you could try any other profession and give it a go, what would it be?
Forensics, for sure. I really wish I'd have explored it. Forensic detective is something I really wish that I had done. I think I did play around with it for a bit. When I finished my degree, I was like, I don't know what to do. I've got a degree in sports science and leisure management, but so have 5 million other people. What am I going to do? And I kind of wish that maybe I'd kept the sport for me and not done all of my education in the sport.
Could you sort of see Sian as like a private detective, just
love it.
Sneaky
beaky. Just
like one of those big overall coats that pulls up to here and just sneaking up on people. No rep. And obviously, because you're a coach, I always like to ask what your top 3 dick gym moves are. So again,
just 3?
Just 3, yeah. I mean, you can just keep going, really, or read the rules of the gym would probably be.
I think my biggest frustration, and I'm sure that I'm not alone in with this, is RX. Yeah. The little 2 letters that go on that bloody board, because no matter how much you stand at the front and talk to people about, this is the stimulus of this workout, this is how it should feel, that there is some div that stood there going, well, I'm doing that because it says that. And that it's near on there. One rep max.
Are you listening?
And that even if you say to them that I really, it's not the intent of the workout, because it's on that board, they're going to do it. Yeah. And the lifting is terrible, and you just think, you're missing out on the whole stimulus of this entire workout just because I've written that number on the board, and I could have put in a different number. And at some points I'm like, I'm going to change that. Yeah. But I don't. Second one, dropping dumbbells. Not a fan of that. Yeah. Don't like that. I'm a fan of chalk though, so chalk for everything. Love it. Love chalk. Chalk handstand push-ups. I need chalk.
I can get chalking for handstand push-ups. Right, that I can accept.
Chalk.
But when people chalk for press-ups, I was
maybe they're just trying to help create some epic external rotation. So
It's good to
Do you
know
know
where
what I
your
mean?
hands need to go, so you've not got to think about it. So I'm with that. Same with box jumps. Chalk your hands where you're going to put your hands to burpee, and then you've not got
Oh,
to look
right.
where your
I'm
hands
gonna
are
see-
going. Hands
I was
down.
just gonna say I'm gonna make it your job to clean the gym floor after this podcast. Like from now on, Josh has just got out of that job because it's all Sian's fault when everyone's leaving.
Yeah, no, but those two are my biggest ones. RX. Oh, and certainly when you get a message going at the end of the evening, well, you didn't put my RX on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Oops.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. No, I get that, and I do love it when you post it and you like, you post the workout and somebody, you got my time wrong. I'm like, I've still got like a 98% record there for the rest of the day. Everyone else's is right. Like, give me a break.
Well done, me.
like, sorry, what was yours? And they're like, oh yeah, I got one more rep, and I'm like, oh, like,
I'll just drive back to the gym, change it, and do another picture for you.
Yeah.
Well, one rep in the open means a lot. So
Oh yeah, true. In the open.
In the open, I'd be pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and right.
I'd drive to your house and make you change it.
Yeah. Although, in the swing of that, I've had people in the open where I'm messaging them going, your score's like 30 reps out, like you need to change it, because obviously I can't change it as the manager. And they're like, and literally they're like, it'll be all right. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
Like, no, it's not. Go and change it. And they're like, well, I'm not.
I will have those reps for you. Thank you for donating.
I definitely will have those reps.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting one. So, okay, let's move on to this and that then. This and that is basically, you know the drill. It's snatch or clean and jerk, running or rowing, that kind of thing. So, first one, snatch or clean and jerk.
I'm going to say snatch because I hate it. I need to love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Surprise.
I thought I was sat down for that one.
Just
I was like,
my head
You
listens.
understood the question.
I thought you were just going to say clean, and later than that'd be it. Like,
I love
snatch or clean and jerk, clean. That's all.
Clean.
Clean, please. Running or rowing?
Rowing.
Rowing, okay.
All right.
I've done so much running in my life. I'm so over running. Honest to God, there's been some challenges online during lockdown. It's like 5K running. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no.
Not doing it. Just don't want
I'm
to do
that
it.
with rowing.
Yeah.
I've done so much rowing. I'm so good at it. I just feel like I'm ready to do it.
People have tagged me in them 5K challenges, and I'm like, no.
No.
Like,
My knees hurt. No.
no. Yeah, like, yeah, my knees hurt thinking about it. No, not having it.
No.
Air bike or rowing?
Air bike. It's over quicker.
It's over. It doesn't have to be. Don't say
At
that.
the moment, air bike.
Okay, I'm noting down on Sian's programming for tomorrow. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I lost my notes. There they are. Front squat or back squat?
Front squat.
Pizza or ice cream?
Ice cream pizza?
Ice cream pizza, you savage.
Ice cream for me. Anything sweet, cakes and ice cream. There's no off button. So if I want ice cream, it's a tub. It's not a little tiny bit. It's the tub.
Yeah, we have this thing where Emma sort of just gives me like half of the tub, so I feel like I've still ate the full tub.
Oh, that's psychology. Like
Yeah,
it.
so she takes her bit and then like gives me the tub, but then because the tub's still empty, I still feel better about the whole situation.
Whereas that's a good way of doing it.
Is if she just give it me in a bowl, I'd be like, "Where's the rest?" Like, I want more.
There's more in the freezer. There's more in the freezer.
I know it. I still know it's there. So yes, that works really well.
Psychology, I love it.
I know.
Yeah.
Cookies or donuts?
Cookies, but they've got to be gooey in the middle, soft in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, Domino's cookies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Domino's cookies. Josh, have you messaged Domino's about a sponsorship yet? Because we're surely the only people that we've not spoke to.
No, but I have you've got to be able to hook me up. Come on.
Yeah.
I've had the equivalent of like a 4-year membership with Domino's. Like,
every
Help
week.
a brother out.
I know, right?
Awesome. Just realised the dog's drinking my drink. She's like,
I like
in the
Knocko.
background. Like, get off. Where are we up to? So for you, it would be a CrossFit Games gold medal. or £1 million?
£1 million.
£1 million. Oof, big shout.
Well, yeah, because the Masters aren't even publicised, so he'd even get a medal, but nobody would have seen it.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
What about individual?
What if it was the
What?
not like the non-age category one?
Yeah, you get to go individual.
Yeah, that'd be a game changer then. Yeah, I'd have to go for a gold medal.
Yeah.
Have
Okay.
to go
Cool.
for the medal, definitely.
I get that.
Just to wear the little short, the red shorts and the white top.
Although as well, there is some like really exciting so we might actually get to find out about the age groups in the future.
True.
Because they seem to be getting their own competitions and they're getting their own live streams, and there'll be a bit more about it for sure. So
hopefully.
Hopefully. So Sian, that was awesome, and thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, if people want to give you a follow on social media or they want to know more about charity work, then how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I don't really post a lot on social media, but my Instagram is for kind of stuff that I'm up to at the moment. I started doing it just at the start of lockdown, thinking that, it won't take over. But I've kind of done that before, like with Ninja Warrior, I did like my journey, and with Ironman, my journey. I was like, I'll just start this. 70 days later, I'm sure people are sick to death of seeing what S.P.E is doing. Quite a few people have done some of the workouts though. So I'm S.P.E 1979. And then, if you want to look at the charity work, and I know that the charity has helped some of our members as well. So if you've got coronary heart disease in your family, we do testing and stuff as well. So if you want to get a little bit more information about what we do and how we operate, but we are based just in Preston, nowhere else is a one-off charity, then the website is www.heartbeat-nwcc.org.uk. There's loads of information on there. And obviously any of our gym members that are listening that kind of want to pick up with that, then just get my number, give me a call. It's easier to talk about it rather than back into a message.
Cool. Amazing. And again, thank you very much for joining us. Before we go, obviously, just want to mention our sponsor again, xendurance.eu. Anything you want to buy from those guys, you can get 20% off with the code AgogeTV20. Make sure you use the code. And again, you're just, me and Josh have just both ordered our Fuel 5s.
Good stuff.
For going back to some more intense training now that hopefully we'll be coming out of lockdown soon. And just want to mention as well, because I think that we're going to get a lot more gym members listen to this one, because obviously S.P.E is our super popular coach, everybody's favourite coach. I just want to mention thank you to everybody that has supported us during lockdown, and even more so in the goings on with unaffiliating and all the rest of it. We have recorded a podcast with Tom Blay just talking about our opinions on why we're unaffiliated. So if anybody wants to check that out, I'm sure he'd appreciate the listen as well. It's called the Points of Performance podcast, and it is out now. Again, it's just our thoughts about why we're unaffiliated, and rather than digging down into it, we got Tom to talk to us about it because they decided to stay affiliated. So we figured. Did you catch that there?
Sniper.
Yeah. Have you got that in your hand?
No.
I was like, for anybody listening, Josh, it looked like Josh caught a fly with his bare hands. Thought he was Mr.
In a chopstick.
It's podcast fly.
Fly.
So sometimes it goes to Phil's, and then sometimes it just comes in.
It does, and sometimes you can hear it on what's really annoying is the mics are so sensitive. You can hear it, and you guys can't hear it on the podcast, but we can hear it going the whole time.
Podcast fly.
I lost my train of thought then. So again, guys, we just want to say thank you. We've had nothing but support. We've had lovely messages off people. We both appreciate everything that everyone's done for us. The gym would not be here now if you hadn't have continued to support us. It is that simple, and we would not be able to reopen. So again, just thank you, and we're hopefully always trying to do the right thing by you guys. We might not get it perfect, but that is our goal. So like I say, we'll be releasing some more information soon. And again, thank you very much, guys. And Sian, thank you very much for coming on. Check us out, AgogeTV on on YouTube, and please subscribe, like and share. Facebook and Instagram, just like and share. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Cheers, guys. Peace.
Peace.